Good evening. I'm Ava with WNBA Trending, and tonight's top story focuses on a deeply personal and heartbreaking moment for Butler assistant coach Fran McCaffery, the longtime boyfriend of WNBA star Caitlin Clark. Over the weekend, McCaffery revealed in an emotional Instagram post that his grandmother, Maritz Maybe Nowlin, has passed away. The news has sparked an outpouring of support from fans, teammates, and the wider basketball community, reminding us once again that behind the headlines and highlights, athletes and coaches are first and foremost human beings, navigating the same joys and tragedies as everyone else. Fran McCaffery, who played 6 seasons at the University of Iowa under his father, head coach Fran McCaffery, and now serves as an assistant at Butler University, shared the news late Saturday night. Alongside a touching photo of himself as a child in the arms of his grandmother, he wrote words that captured the depth of his grief. He admitted he had been trying to find the right words, but simply could not. He called it impossible to put into words how much his grandmother had meant to the entire family. He concluded by saying that he refused to say goodbye, instead offering the words, "Until we meet again." In that short message, he encapsulated the profound pain of losing someone so important, while also expressing a deep faith in the bonds of family that endure beyond death. The response to his post was immediate. Friends, colleagues, teammates, and fans filled the comments with condolences and messages of comfort. At the forefront of that response was Caitlin Clark herself, who quietly expressed her support with a series of heart and prayer emojis. Sometimes, grief leaves us all searching for words, and her understated response reflected both love and solidarity in a moment when presence speaks louder than lengthy messages. Teammates, including Lexi Hull, added their own responses, joining the chorus of support for McCaffery. Reports confirm that Maritz Maybe Nowlin passed away on August 13th at Lake Vermilion in Minnesota, a place she loved deeply and often visited with family. She was discovered unresponsive during the afternoon, and although first responders attempted resuscitation, she was later pronounced dead at Cook Hospital. She was 80 years old. For the McCaffery family, her passing represents the loss of a matriarch who had provided stability, love, and encouragement across multiple generations. This loss comes as Caitlin Clark continues to sit out with a groin injury that has kept her away from action with the Indiana Fever. Clark has missed multiple games and has been absent from some of the team's travel updates, sparking questions from fans. The revelation of McCaffery's family tragedy now casts those absences in a different light. Beyond her professional responsibilities and the spotlight of the WNBA, Clark is prioritizing her relationship and her role as a partner, standing by Connor as he grieves. Connor and Caitlin's relationship has drawn media attention since they began dating in 2023. Their bond was forged in Iowa, where Clark became a college basketball phenomenon and McCaffery carved his path as a versatile guard and team leader. After completing his time as a player, he transitioned to coaching, first spending time with the Indiana Pacers in a staff role before joining Butler. Clark's journey, meanwhile, continued on an upward trajectory as she was selected number 1 overall in the 2024 WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever. Together, their story has often been told as one of 2 young figures rising in basketball, united by their love of the game and for each other. But this week, the narrative is different. Instead of being about achievements, it is about resilience in the face of sorrow. Connor's Instagram tribute offered the public a glimpse of his vulnerability. The photo of his younger self with his grandmother carried the weight of memory, while his words reflected the helplessness that often accompanies grief. Fans and observers were quick to recognize that authenticity, praising his courage in sharing such a personal moment. In many ways, this story highlights how the culture of sports has shifted. Not long ago, personal tragedies of athletes and coaches were often kept private, confined to family and close circles. Today, with the presence of social media, grief is shared publicly, inviting support from not only friends but also strangers and fans. The result is a broader acknowledgement that those in the spotlight are not immune to life's hardships. That transparency, while deeply personal, helps bridge the gap between athletes and their supporters. For Caitlin Clark, the public's reaction has been equally telling. Known for her poise on the court and her relentless competitiveness, Clark is also showing fans another side of herself, one of empathy, loyalty, and quiet strength. Her decision to keep her own public response simple but meaningful reflects a focus on being present rather than performative. In moments of loss, sometimes it is the silent hand held, the presence beside you, that provides the greatest comfort. Clark's fans have applauded her for her priorities, recognizing that even as she carries the burden of expectation as the face of women's basketball, she has chosen to be a partner first during this time. The basketball community has rallied behind the couple. Former teammates of Connor, fellow coaches, and even casual fans have shared condolences online. The story has been widely reported by sports outlets, each emphasizing both the emotional nature of his message and the supportive role Clark has played. Many fans commented that his words about refusing to say goodbye and choosing instead to say, "Until we meet again," resonated with their own experiences of loss, showing how personal grief can forge universal connections. Beyond the emotional response, the story has sparked conversations about the importance of family in shaping athletes' lives. Behind every player, there are often parents, grandparents, and loved ones who provided encouragement, attended games, and offered wisdom along the way. McCaffery's decision to post a childhood photo symbolized the formative influence his grandmother had on him. For many, it was a reminder that achievements in sports are never individual, but are instead the culmination of a support system that stretches across generations. As for the McCaffery family, tributes are expected to continue in the days ahead. Maritz Maybe Nowlin is remembered as someone who brought laughter and love to those around her, someone who cherished gatherings and moments with family. Lake Vermilion, the site of her passing, was a place she adored, and her family has noted that it provides a bittersweet sense of peace that she spent her last moments in a setting she loved. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues her rehabilitation with the Fever. Her absence has raised questions about the team's playoff push, as the Fever currently sit in 7th place and look ahead to critical games. Head coach Stephanie White has stressed that Clark's long-term health remains the priority, indicating the team hopes she can return before the end of the season, but will not rush her recovery. This news of personal loss adds another layer of complexity to her journey, as she balances physical recovery with emotional support for her partner.